Jamaica's Energy Minister Gov't just pulled an Uno reverse on the island's main power company JPS by lending them $150 million US. But why? I'm Kalila from Money Media, giving you money news for the Caribbean. So let's rewind a few months. Minister Vaz had announced over the summer that the government would not renew JPS's electricity license under the current terms. They want to negotiate terms to ensure Jamaicans are paying less for electricity. At one point, the government even said they're open to hearing proposals from other energy providers. But boom, here comes Hurricane Melissa, which caused millions of dollars in damage to JPS's electricity grid. More than 540,000 customers lost power. 1 month later, and only about 2/3 of customers have had their power restored. The remaining customers are in some of the hardest hit areas of the island, where the grid will need complete rebuilds in some cases. JPS said they would need to get financing, aka borrow money, to get all this work done. But they claimed that no bank would lend them money if they're at risk of losing their license. The banks won't take that risk, because how would they ensure that JPS can pay back the money if they don't have a license to sell electricity? JPS claimed that without additional funding, the earliest they could fully restore power would be April or May 2026. That's 5 to 6 months away. Imagine 6 more months without electricity for those hardest hit. So JPS was using the situation as leverage to call on the government to extend the license. But then Vaz dropped the Uno reverse. He said, "Oh, money's the issue? How much you need? $150 million US? Cool, we'll lend it to you." That's 24 billion JMD, by the way. And with that one move, JPS now has no leverage to get an extension. But the government now takes on the risk, because if they do cancel the license, how would they get back their money? Now, with the loan from the government, restoration efforts are expected to wrap up by January or February 2026. Vaz said the loan will allow JPS to mobilize crews, equipment, and overseas line workers so the grid can be repaired. According to Vaz, the loan will run for 5 years with an option for early repayment. However, the interest rate and other financial terms are still being negotiated. That still leaves a lot of questions, though. The People's National Party says the loan terms need greater transparency. What's the interest rate? What's the value of JPS's assets? What happens if the license isn't renewed? What safeguards are there to ensure that taxpayers aren't left picking up the bill? And what happens if JPS says they need more money? There's still so much up in the air. And that's the bottom line. So, what do you think? Did the government make the right move by lending JPS the money? Let me know in the comments. By the way, JPS does have a series of preference shares listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. If you're interested in learning how to invest, go to moneymissionja.com to check out my books and courses. The link is in my bio or in the description. Let's get this money.